Alright, students, as we have already finished one chapter, the story A Letter to God, we are now progressing ahead with the poem that is on your page number 12. It's the poem Dust of Snow by Robert Frost. So, as you already know, Robert Frost is an American poet, and we have already done one more poem of his in class 9th, if you remember. Can you guess? I mean, you've just given the exam, so you must remember. The Road Not Taken. The Road Not Taken was a pretty self discovering kind of poem. But in Dust of Snow, there is a the thing that the poet is talking about is not just a person, but also the person's connection to his surroundings. How the person reacts to certain situations, and how we sometimes feel that the problems are very big. But all we have to do is pay attention to the tiny details, and the nature will let you heal. There are just very simple things that are being talked about in this poem. There is the speaker, so we will take it as the poet himself, and he has an experience. He is not feeling very good, he is not in a very good mood, but suddenly something happens that is very unexpected, and it changes his mood from bad to good. So this whole poem is just one line. This kind of poetry, it is called enjambment. Okay, because if you see in your books, the way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree, you do not find any kind of punctuation till the end of the poem. That is the second stanza after the word rude, right? So the only punctuation that occurs is at the end of the poem. Now, coming back to the poem again from the beginning, the poet is talking about a crow, a hemlock tree. Now, these two are the elements of in Christianity. These two creatures, I mean the tree and the crow, they are considered not very good, because hemlock tree is, it has poisonous flowers, whereas the crows are considered as evil bringers, that they bring their bad luck basically. So the poet is actually using these two negative images, दो ऐसी चीज़ें जिनका प्रभाव बुरा माना जाता है, जैसे बुरी बला समझा जाता है जिन्हें, right? He's taking that idea and he's converting it to something positive, just like his mood. And what happens actually is pretty self-explanatory, right? That what happens, there is dust of snow. Now dust, because the particles of snow are so tiny, that they seem like dust, and it is made up of snow, so obviously we know that it is winter season, and that is why there is a lot of snow stranded on the branches, right? So without further ado, let's go ahead into the poem, because once you actually read the poem, the whole situation clears out as to what is being talked about, and why this sudden action of falling of dust is considered very important. All right. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. So, this whole poem is just 8 lines, and if you pay attention, it is just one single line broken in parts. So, this kind of changes that are made to a poem or a line and established in a way that it becomes very impactful. So, to increase the impact, the poet has written the line and broken it in certain points rather than giving it a punctuation. So this kind of poetic device that is implied is called enjambment, where the line is broken at certain places to increase the impact of the words. In this case, if you see, it goes high and low like a heartbeat, right? It's kind of way in which the poem is written, the way a crow shook down on me, right? The dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. So let's go ahead with the explanation of this. The way a crow, the manner in which a crow shook down, right? So we don't know how the shaking action is happening of this crow. Maybe the crow has just landed. Maybe the crow is trying to fly. Maybe he's just, flapping his wings. We don't know because it doesn't matter. What matters is that this action is causing something to happen. What is that? That when the crow moves on the branch of the hemlock tree on which it is sitting, it causes the dust of snow to fall down on the poet or the speaker who is standing under that tree or maybe just passing by. The dust of snow from a hemlock tree. Now, the significance of falling of dust of snow, especially from a tree that is considered not very good or not something that brings good luck, right? So, although these two things are considered to be of bad luck or are considered evil omens in Christian religion, right? Still, the poet manages to find some kind of positivity in the situation. Let's see how. Has given my heart a change of mood. Now, the poet's heart obviously was troubled. He was very sad, maybe even distracted by something that might have happened in his life or in that day, right? But suddenly, from sadness, his mood had changed to happiness. His mood has changed to happiness, and the reason is the movement of that crow, which caused falling of the dust on him and saved some part of a day I had rued. Now it is like, saved some part. It's like the part of nature has come as his savior. उसे वो बचाने आया उसके दुखों से. Why? Because first of all he was very depressed. Second, he decided to observe the nature. Now, if you are ignoring your surroundings, let's take an example. If the poet had not actually stood there, right, and he would have ignored this, that, oh god, what is this? This dust of snow is useless, right? My clothes are also ruined now. My mood was bad, now my clothes are ruined. If you would have thought it that way, what would have happened is that he would have made his day worse. Yes? But the point here is that things will keep on happening in life. But what we have to do is make sure that we are concentrating on the positive side of things rather than the negative side of things. Now, the themes that you have to take care about in this poem, the first one, significance of little things in life. That how very small things that you will think are very unimportant in life will actually make a great impact in life if you let it. You don't climb a roof by jumping from the floor. You have to take steps. Same as with happiness. You cannot be happy in just a jiffy, although, right? Unless and until you have accepted happiness, nothing is going to change. So, although the poet was sad, still he managed to be happy. He wasn't waiting for something great to happen, right? Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, we don't know. But he chose to be happy where he was and whatever was happening around him, that was some kind of distraction, right? So, this problem that he was facing, we don't know what it is, but it made him feel very regretful. It made him feel very sad, right? He wanted to change everything about the situation. And when he really wanted the change came, he observed and he accepted it as it is. So, what was the change? The distraction that was caused by nature. The second part that we are going to talk about is connection between man and nature. So, we can see nowadays also that we are very distracted from nature. We are very close to the artificial things that attract us, maybe because of their face value or the way they look or the way they are, right? Or the value that they hold. But in reality, the true connection of human beings is with nature and not with materialistic things or even with the events, because the problems will come and go. But your happiness is your own choice. So, this is the message that the poet tries to deliver through these lines. And nature is a healer. Nature as a healer, healer of everything, every problem that man faces. Now, how is nature a healer here? It acts as a quick distraction. He was very sad. Okay, my mood is very bad. What to do now? He's just standing under the tree, and then dust falls on him, and he's like, oh, look, the whole mood is gone. That mood that he was in, that was making him to think about his problem even more. Now that mood is also gone because he has stopped thinking about it. Now his whole attention was towards the dust of snow that fell on him because of the crow who was sitting on the hemlock tree. This might seem a very simple poem, but the message is very strong. That if you want to be happy, you have to accept your present situation and try to, move on. His choice of moving on comes when he accepts the little action of nature that is going around him. He observes it and he lets it change him or change his mood. So that is pretty much what the poet is talking about in this poem. And when he is regretful about something, regretful means he is feeling that something should be changed. Okay, he made a mistake, he wants to change it, right? But he cannot, obviously, so this is making him very sad for some reason. But when he sees the nature, when he observes the nature and he accepts the reality of the nature and he lets it heal him, help him in changing his mood, he becomes a happy person. So rather than wasting his day in sadness and sorrow about that problem, now his mood is uplifted. Now he is happy. So that's all with this poem. Alright, when you come to thinking about the poem, there is this quotation about quotation that Robert Frost has said. It has been included here. Always, always a larger significance. A little thing touches a larger thing. So, Robert Frost's belief that happiness is not made of some big, humongous change in life, but it is made from these small, small parts that happen in our life, these small memories, these small incidents that we sometimes do not notice or we ignore. So, the poet's advice is that you should not ignore the little things in your life, because the bigger things in life are always made with the smaller ones, right? You cannot expect to have a huge change in just one day. If you want success in life, you have to move towards it step by step. So this is the whole idea about this poem, that when you are sad, you should allow yourself to be happy and not, sit around and be sad or overthink about your problems. So the first question related to this poem is, what is the dust of snow? Dust of snow is any random dust particles falling on somebody, right? Or maybe in the air also. And what does the poet say has changed his mood? So the dust of snow is, it's falling down of any kind of particles of snow, right? And the poet's mood has been changed according to the poet by this falling of the dust of snow on him. How has the poet's mood changed? He was very sad about something, but now he's not. He observed the nature, he accepted the changes around him, and he became not sad anymore, or he became happy. How does Frost present nature in this poem? The following questions may help you think of an answer. So, how is he presenting the nature? As I told you, nature is being presented as a healer of any kind of problem. Here it is more of on the the stressful kind maybe he was tensed about something, that is why he was feeling regretful towards something. So when he saw these elements of nature, he became very happy, right? So he is talking about nature as something very beautiful, something that brings change, something that will help you progress in life if you allow it to. If you fight nature, as in if you fight the situation, if he ignored that, if he would have ignored the situation, he would have been still unhappy. So your own happiness lies in your own hands rather than you waiting for some miracle to happen. You have to find happiness in those small things. What are the birds that are usually named in poems? All right. So this is a very general kind of question. Usually you find poems about nightingales who sing very beautifully, or maybe some colorful birds that are singing in the evening, or maybe in the at the time of the sunrise. But what happens in this poem? Do you think a crow is often mentioned in poems? Well, usually the thing is, crows are considered as the kind of predators that feed on the dead carcasses, right? The dead bodies of animals, or maybe any kind of uh, thing that is rotting away, right? So they are not considered to be very positive image in nature. What images come to your mind when you think of a crow? Obviously something very negative, that okay, first of all its voice is also very shrill, then he is not very appealing to look at, right? And then obviously, as we talked about it, he feeds on rotten things. So nothing very positive. Yes. Again, what is a hemlock tree? Why doesn't the poet write about more beautiful tree such as a maple or an oak or a pine? So why do you think the poet chose hemlock tree as his, you know, as the tree on which the crow is sitting? He's showing that how we have made up our minds about things. Okay, this is good, this is bad, this is positive, this is negative. This is not how the world works, right? Because in this situation, what brings him happiness is not some beautiful rose or maybe a beautiful nightingale song. It is just random thing happening in the nature. He decides to observe it, be a part of it, and he decides that he's going to be happy. It doesn't matter to him that it's a crow and a hemlock tree. What matters to him is how he is accepting every part of nature, and he is becoming one with nature by accepting each and every element of it, and not just the things that are considered beautiful. What does the crow and hemlock represent? Joy or sorrow? What does the dust of snow that the crow shakes off a hemlock tree stand for? So obviously crow and hemlock both are not representing anything positive or negative. They are just simply expressing how nature is all around us. And even if we don't accept it, it's still going to be there. But it's better to accept it, be one with it, and be happy. And the dust of snow stands for any kind of small event happening that might not seem very significant. आपको नहीं लगेगा लाइफ में उस इवेंट की आपकी कोई वैल्यू है, बट अगर आप उस इवेंट को अपने नज़रिए से देखें कि वो आपकी लाइफ पे किस तरह से इफ़ेक्ट डाल रहा है, या आप उसको एक्सेप्ट करें एज इट इज़ और उसे अपनी लाइफ का एक पार्ट बना लें, तो आपके लिए जो आपकी प्रॉब्लम्स हैं वो उनका सोल्यूशन आपको जल्दी मिल जाएगा. या अगर आप दुखी हैं और आप अपने आसपास के वातावरण से खुशियाँ ढूंढना चाहते हैं, तो आपको खुशियाँ मिल जाएंगी. इतना मुश्किल काम नहीं है. इट्स नॉट दैट डिफिकल्ट. Alright, have there been times when you felt depressed or hopeless? Well, I think this is the best time to write about this answer, when we are locked down in our homes, right? Have you experienced a similar moment that changed your mood that day? So maybe you got a scolding for some reason, or maybe you got up late, or maybe you did something wrong, right? And then your mood was destroyed for the whole day. But then suddenly something happened that you were not expecting to, and you didn't even think of it as happening, and it suddenly changed your mood. So this is something that you can write on your own, right? As in with your own personal experience. Just go ahead, go through the poem. It's very small, and just make sure that you Remember the rhyme scheme. The rhyme scheme for this poem. Let's mark it in your books. Do that. Don't forget it. Right? The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. So the first stanza has it as A B A B. Right? Meaning the first word of the last word of the first line and the last word of the third line, they both rhyme, right? So A and A. Then second line and fourth line, they both rhyme. The last words, they rhyme with each other, so it is B and B. So the first stanza A B A B, then heart rhymes with part and mood rhymes with rude, right? So it again becomes C D C D. So the rhyme scheme of the whole poem goes A B A B C D C D. And now I hope that you will try to find more happiness around you, right? And try to be more happy and less frustrated with things, and try to concentrate on the positivity even if it's very tiny. Have a good day, right? Take care, and don't forget to wash your hands.